The most recent statistics tracking food insecurity shows Alberta leading the country. About 1 in 4 households in our province unable to afford fresh and healthy foods. We are trying to help save you money and maximize what you have in your home. Home economist Jodie Kachkar is with us this morning to help us do so. So Jodie, today we're talking about you've made a meal and you've got some leftovers, though you have another name for leftovers, and figuring out ways that we can maximize that and continue to use that through the week.
So one of the best ways to save on food is to minimize your food waste. So leftover management, I think, is a way to go. And what I would suggest is, I don't call them leftovers, I call them starters, because you can use them as starting blocks and starting points for the meal that you want to cook next.
Okay, great.
So imagine you have leftover pasta, you've cooked too much.
Which happens a lot.
It's easy to do. So here are a couple of things that you can do to deal with your leftover pasta rather than composting it.
Okay.
So one of them is a frittata, which is an egg dish, and I've added eggs to this, cheese, some vegetables. You cook it flat in a frying pan and then finish it in the oven. So think quiche, but very similar without a crust.
And that's great because you can add sort of whatever else you have in the fridge, right?
Absolutely, whatever's in the fridge. That is exactly what I did when I built it. I just kind of pulled anything I had. And then you could make something like a peanut sauce. You could also make this with non-nut butter, so sun butter, soy nut butter, whatever. And then I made sort of like a peanut noodle salad. So something that might, do for lunch. And again, pull in some raw chicken, some leftover vegetables, sesame seeds would be great.
And perhaps you have one meal on Monday, you have a little bit of leftovers, don't know what to do with that. Maybe by what you make on Tuesday, you can combine a few things and extend that through lunches.
Absolutely. And that's where sometimes meal planning comes in, but it also could mean that we collect our leftovers, and Friday is sort of like come as you are night, and then we figure it out. So
that's kind of how it is at my house as well. What would you say to people as far as being conscious when they're buying groceries? There are times when maybe you just buy too much and you end up wasting so much. I'm thinking of like the plastic container of lettuce and spinach and things like that.
Yes.
What's your advice for being conscious at the grocery store? Because sometimes you can get carried away and that can cost you.
Well, I would say at the grocery store, the best thing to do is to go with a plan.
Okay.
If you don't have a plan for how you're going to use the item, then I wouldn't purchase it.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to use as not a leftover, but as a starter? What's something that you can buy that can really last you through the week in different forms?
Baby spinach, absolutely. I always buy the big box because it can go into many, many things. And it kind of shrinks and it's hidden. So if you need to hide vegetables for your child, that's a good place to do it.
Oh, you cook it up and you can tuck it in the corner of a lot of things, can't you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Jodie, thanks so much for a little inspiration. I will never think of leftovers the same because of this conversation. Now, if you'd like the recipes for what Jodie has been talking about here this morning, you're in luck. They will be posted on our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Go check it out later today.